ESUBA were clearly training up their water Pokemon to demolish ONYX on their first map. It was their map pick, and it really didn't look like it from start to finish. It was domination coming out from ESUBA, and, well, some of our questions have been answered. Was it a bit of a flash in the pan for ESUBA, you know, getting that win? Obviously, it was an overtime, it was against Ago, but then we come on to them going up against ONYX now, and they've really done their homework, done their prep, they were ready for Inferno, and there was not really a single chance in there for ONYX.
Fantastic stuff from them all around, yeah. So, especially on the CT side, you know, you saw that they prepared in advance for that ONYX aggression. You know, they took banana control fairly early on into the round, for the first few rounds. Deep smoke, right, pushing down, I think it was Twist who always pushed down, hid behind the barrels there, and then just made sure that there's no entry frags happening on that side of the map, and which is why it was really the A site where ONYX found any early success.
Yeah, I mean, here we see one of the examples of that CT side, banana control, keeping ONYX a check, not able to gain that map control too easily whatsoever. And also a late round retake of banana, pop flash coming in, who is just gonna get a 2K. It's already a man advantage here for ESUBA in this situation. As you can see, the first guy is not really getting refrag either. Thankfully, Impulse is gonna come back there and get the frag back, get the revenge frag going, but the round is pretty much over at that point in time.
Yeah, it was a weird one, right? Because when you look at a round like this, it's almost even Impulse was lucky he didn't go down. If that spray continued, he could have been eating the dust from Twist, but it was just full control. ESUBA seemed to be sharp. They seemed to be understanding what was being played out here.
Yeah, no, it felt to me like ESUBA had a lot of different setups, a lot of little gimmicky plays here and there and everywhere. You know, they would have stacking apps on A as well, playing aggressive on top middle, or playing, you know, passively set up on the site, on A site that is. Just a lot of different variations all the time that was kind of throwing off ONYX time and time again. They were just not getting any answers, because we saw a very similar T side from ONYX as we saw yesterday. Again, just wolf backing, slowly trying to roam around the map, sending always like a 3-player unit to either take a top mid control, try to get banana control, but they were just not fruitful this time around, because ESUBA actually, they had different protocols, they had different little small plays here and there that they managed to capitalize on.
And Twist definitely the man of the match there, right? Yeah. So basically that hold he had put up with Patchin on banana basically just secured them that CT side, as was a very cerebral player, right? You saw it in his clutch situations, both on Nuke yesterday. He always knew how to position himself and he's alone when he's playing with a teammate backing him up, how to get 2-3 kills when it's really needed.
Yeah.
I would also say, right, when it comes to this, that maybe Natu, maybe you could be right. They win each other's picks. Do you see a world where it's going to flip out completely? I didn't expect them to win Inferno anyway, but to win it that dominantly does make me think that, okay, ESUBA, you came super prepared and ready. But do we now go into this crazy, insane world where just the upsets continue even in the best of 3, you know, and they just play each other's maps like this?
I don't know, James.
Anything can happen, right?
Yeah, anything can happen. Should we look at the other clip also? We have another one.
Oh, you got another one for
me? Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
let's do it. It's the T side. Also not great signs here for ONYX, because look at the eviction notice sent by ESUBA here in the banana. Just one single molly. Make sure that ONYX is going to fall back. And this is a 4-spy situation as well, after a pistol round win from ONYX. Getting picked apart here. Quick trade 1-for-1, and then just a straight up B execute. Impulse just kind of lingers on here on No Man's Land, trying to, I guess, hide by moving his mouse to the left when he gets flashed. And that's the bomb side already lost in a 4-3 advantage for ESUBA, and the round pretty much over at that point in time.
Hiding in plain sight, you know, not often really going to work out.
Don't see me, you can't see me.
Yeah, he's like, if I can't see them, I will be completely fine. No, Fountain was not providing that much cover. He goes down nice.
But I guess the point being here, with those two clips also, the scoreline being what it is, and your question about the next map, I mean, ONYX not coming to play today so far. It's just been blank, like absolutely nothing.
Well, I would just say from what we just saw in Inferno, right, the main thing I'm looking at is not only can ESUBA play it, but they certainly did their homework. We spoke about it in the pre-match that some of that Wolfpack mentality from ONYX, maybe something that becomes a nuisance for ESUBA. Well, they knew exactly what was going on. They had the teamwork going in there, and they definitely were synergized on how they want to play out this map.
And going towards Nuke, you know, ONYX's T side, they're first of all a map which they don't really play at all. You know, they had in the past 10 matches or so, they almost lost every single one. Their only win is over FTW, a Portuguese team, right, one of the online cups. So really not much to write home about. Their T side also not very strong. And we saw yesterday how on ESUBA, blog is basically completely punish them for that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They're taking liberties all over the map, you know, the A1 pushing outside, up, anything you ask for really. As well as Twist on that ramp area, you know. Ego as well tried that Wolfpack mentality with him, and he always positioned in a way where I just shut that down.
Well, we are always right. We're a big brain when it comes to all of us, right? We knew that, but we expect it to be 3 maps. I think we should introduce Jay and Dweg, because Dweg's got some answers I think he needs to deliver here. What's going on with your pick, boy?
You never know. You never know. There's always a chance, but no. Going into Nuke now, ONYX just haven't played up to form, and it's been disappointing. And for them, yeah, it is still a winner's game, so there's still a second lifeline. But you don't want to come here on your map pick and not even show glimpses of brilliance.
Yeah. Where was your logic, Dweg, though? You know, like, come on, like, we're all here on ESUBA. I want to understand your reasoning behind this.
Again, it's ONYX's best map in the pool. They showed some pretty good trading. They showed so many opening man advantages yesterday. I can't remember the last time they got a 5-on-4 there in that first map. It just seemed like it was non-existent. And of course, there were so many opportunities where ESUBA just kept retaking map control, and it felt like ONYX had just no answer for it.
Jay, who's the analyst in your duo?
Him by technicality. I say technicality because it seems like we're all going to be right and he's the only person who picked into. To be fair, logic does dictate it probably
at least a third map, right? Like that's what we're expecting.
100%. Even I'm kind of shocked, and I picked ESUBA to win this series. I'm so stunned that they did it as well as they did. Honestly, like I'm just kind of stunned at that particular front of things here, and just looking at that situation. Like as you mentioned before, I don't know if we're going to be seeing map 3 now.
No, I don't think so. Dimkey is a star player on Nuke, at least. Again, though, you have a look at the Nuke performances. You can't just look at one individual and look at the ratings and the numbers. They're 2 wins and 8 losses in the last 3 months on Nuke, and their T side is pretty down in the dumps. For me, Jay, they get on CT, they need at least 9 or 10 rounds if they really want to give themselves a shot here.
Well, the key thing is that Inferno was a map that ESUBA don't play and win that often, and they were able to do that. So is there a way in which ONYX also don't play and win Nuke that often? So is there a way that they can somehow come up with a 16-5? I don't think so. I don't think you're about to say that you think so. Either way, we're about to jump into the pistol round and see how far that they can take this ESUBA up by a map in the series, and starting things off on the T side, like starting off with execution straight into the A side. Arrow does find that one trade on Savannah, the Bloggis, and Twist come back and remove every other player from the defensive. It's all on Bondek.
And I'm even looking at that position and I'm thinking, what's Dav holding there? He's looking towards Squeak Door in main when his teammate's taking contact. So many easy opening man advantages. Players just not even peeking together there from ONYX, spacing way too far. They needed to be locking it down in those duels, and instead, Savannah again, someone that found a lot of impact in that last map. He opens up, Bloggers getting a 3K. No surprises there.
Yeah, just decimation on the part of ESUBA, and a hell of a start for them on the T side line. The T side really is the one that makes the difference for a lot of squads and a lot of teams involved in this kind of a map, because it is such a map that is so CT based, right?
Not for ESUBA though. They've got a very balanced T to CT basis. It will be for ONYX at least.
And yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was about to bring up there, is the fact that because the fact that it is so balanced in terms of the maps and the history that ESUBA have on this map, that is going to be a very important thing for them. So keep your eyes on how this first half is going to go, because it could decide everything for them in the first 15 rounds here. ONYX set with the Force Buyer standard on the CT defensive. And again, rifles versus all those guys.
Something they were talking about on the desk too, Jay, was some of the gimmicky stuff that ESUBA did on that last map. Nuke is also a perfect example of some of the gimmicky stuff that they can do. You see a lot of top site play, fakes into ramp takes or vent dives, so always keep an eye out if there's a lurk play or someone's been able to create some space that something's going to be used with it. In this round for ESUBA, even with at least some utility towards outside with the cross smokes, no one is going outside at all.
It's indoors instead through lobby. They've got Petchin set back and ready to move into the ramp position. Bondix CZ ahead of the orange box. Tag up on Petchin, and Bloggers could allow a chance. He peeks in on the third man, gets in the drop, almost finds the next one as well, but Luco catches him with no more bullets in the magazine. Meanwhile, Bloggers on the back of Squeaky will get Dimkey as arrow falls to Petchin. Nice coordinated, communicated play there from ESUBA as they bait and switch, remove every CT player that they find. Dav, 1v4.
I'm just impressed with the trigger discipline. Even though Bloggers doesn't get a couple of kills there, he relays the information over that he sees 2 players. So you just start combining in, back taking that lobby control, and for Dav, probably want to save the AK. That might not even be a chance. He's getting stuck out from this ramp position. Bloggers with another multi-frag from him. 45 kills, 20 deaths yesterday. Are we going to see something similar?
I mean, he's found his start at the very least.
Yeah.
So. Is that. Yeah. We are 5 kills deep in 2 rounds, so it's kind of the groundwork for 45 frags in as many rounds as he did.
Not quite 500. Might be over the course of this event.
Yeah, exactly.
If he keeps going.
Well, that last map wasn't as impressive from him, but again, he was keeping impact and he was keeping consistency. He didn't go from top fragger yesterday to bottom fragger today. So him already establishing these 5 frags indicates good things for him to come over the course of this map. Smokes down, big gap at the right-hand side, which might allow this 5-man stack towards heaven to go well. Bloggis just... I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm with you. You need 2 smokes to cross, not just 1. And there's a gap in the left and the right. And because of that, just gets punished straight away. So the CTs are going to go outside and just pick up his weapon.
Free AK. Can't complain. Although the question is, does Dav try and commit this to a retake and a clutch, or does he go ahead and save? I'm willing the latter option, honestly, for me personally. The rest of the CTs can try to stack in, put these pistols to decent use. Bomb's gone down, I believe, downstairs in the B site. Sprays through from Petchin, getting caught up by the flashes. Not quite taken out, though. Savannah able to support him, get Dimkey, Arrow, and Impulse between those 2 individuals. The AK will fall back, save it in outside. Be challenged by Twister, will try to take it out of his hands. Bondic now on events will always try and catch one player with a headshot, but I don't think he's going to find much. Again, this probably should be an easy 3-0, and the best that they can get is that 1 AK.
And this is a chance for some of the underdog teams that won their BO1s, Jay, to kind of prove themselves in best of 3s, because you'd have to imagine a lot of people are going to be looking at those results and saying, BO1's not really much. BO3, okay, there's some proving time now.
Look, if Copenhagen Flames made a run to prove anything, there is some value in the best of 1 results. Yeah, CT Forces will not be able to get a round out of this one. Again, just attempt to hold on to that 1 AK, get a bit more firepower going into the gun round. It also enables the AWP by Frimpulse as well.
Yeah, you're definitely not sold on BO1 wins, are you?
No, I'm definitely not.
No, and again, that is a perspective that a lot of people have. BO3s really are the testing ground, and right here for ESUBA, it's off to a good start here on T side. Impulse with the AWP, I think he's really got to start banging out on this CT side. He's got to start finding impact straight away, otherwise they're just going to be down by such a considerable margin of rounds. Early util with the anti-rush nades to stop any kind of quick upper set piece, and Bondic out from ramp, just trying to see if he can spam away in the early portion.
Smokes on to the squeaky door to try to press Savannah out of the gate. Flash blind allows Dimkey a pretty easy kill and follows it up as well. Arrow gets involved against Petchin, so 3 kills on the trot. Bloggis finally in with a responsive, but tagged to 48 for his efforts. A bit wild and unsupported there, the T-side execution, so this 4v2 is now going to get tough for ESUBA.
Well, there was no molly to the top of Heart, and it just made it pretty easy for Dimkey to be able to get a couple of kills. He's not forced off angle as well. It even allows that single anchor player of Arrow that's playing behind the default silo just to peek on the contact, try and see if he can provide some assistance. And Bloggis and Luco, very difficult position that they put themselves in, because not only are they in a 2v4 with Bloggis tagged up, Jay, they've got 1 smoke, so might just have to walk contact outside.
You can see Bondic set there towards the CT spawn. His eyes are set in hell, though, so he's not going to see these players crossing past red box. Leaving Impulse to account for that out with the decon entrance. I think just above those stairs to have a crack angle to the AWP, land that first shot, fall back down. He's worried about the vents angle, though. He's not got 100% confidence that Dav is covering that from the upper side, but he is. So just focuses his attention towards a secret control run boost. Oh, what a flick, what a shot. And that leaves it all on Luco with the Galil in hand. We'll try to smoke off that position, probably grab back the AK here. But now that you know that he's there for certain, they can all start to converge on the B site with 18 seconds as well. Luco's got no time, and I think he might call in the save.
You've got to be careful he doesn't go down after time. A couple of players that could start making their way outside, putting some pressure onto the secret position. And for Impulse, that's an important shot to win. Try and get a boost up, see if you can have that angle of elevation. They attempted, didn't quite succeed.
Good effort, but not to be. That really is the bottom line of things right there.
Do you know what I do want to see? I'm not sure what player. I'm sure it's one from ESUBA. His keyboard is literally almost upside down, Jay. It is so vertical that you're almost playing upside down. Did you see it?
I did catch that in map 1, yeah. I wasn't going to make a comment towards it because there were other things to talk about, but keep your eyes on that one, individual, because whoever he is definitely going to have broken wrists by the end of this tournament.
Pretty sure it was Fugly when he was playing on CLG. Had a very similar setup, very vertical.
Yeah, I do remember Fugly at least. Fugly's not playing today, so we'll find out who it is later. Guns in, full buy to both sides. Saved AKs for Dimkey and Arrow, of course. Bloggis tagged to 52 already, so again, not the best of starts for ESUBA.
That could just be another one of these quick upper takes. You've got Bloggis towards outside, just trying to have a slight lurk, see if we can create some space, see if they can rotate some of those players down to the lower bomb site. Gets pretty silent pretty quickly, and actually Twist gets caught off at ramp.
ONYX credited with the kill. A bit of a awkward angle for him to take. So Twist, top fragger of the last map up, removed from play in this round. AK Arrow spots Penchin, but disappears through that spot before he can capitalize with the kill. Luca will take a lot of damage to that counter HG. Try and dive down through the vents, which I think he got by undetected. Impulse is watching it as there's two other T-side players that are down there. He engages against Bloggers, wins that one fight. Dav gonna get overwhelmed with the crossfire of Savannah and co. Shots on a 4 versus 3. Heavy damage sustained by ESUBA though.
Yeah, they need someone to open up, to find a multi-frag, and even for Petchin, he walks out a squeak door. You'd have to imagine with Dimki on the off angle, he's a dead man.
Arrow's not going to engage directly though. Gonna worry about both entries to the site here. Dimki watching left and right, and of course Mini being covered off on that top position. Arrow spotted them, knows that he's out there, repositioned to ensure that nobody's gonna catch him. Flash forward, he does find Luco. Dimki can trade back Petchin, and Savannah is extremely low. Didn't recognize he was in a 1v3, so Dimki caught looking the wrong way. Now allows Savannah a bit of a chance as the bomb on his back will try to commit to the site. Plant open, tap once towards Squeaky. The AWP peeking in from heaven, and now he's got to go for the plant. Or open for it. AWP engaged will force him off position, and now he's got to stick it. 4 seconds. Another player so close here at the ramp. Dead and buried. ONYX credited with the end of the round to get one on the board for ONYX.
He was pretty lucky there, because there was a very good chance that he would have been going down after time, which would have just wrecked the economy completely over on that T side. And for Dimki and Arrow, it seems as if the A defensive, they've got some good coordination between one another. Arrow turning away from that flash at closed vents, still finding one onto those main players starting to come in, and Dimki just being able to hold, waste a lot of time. And that bomb plant got faked a few times, and it didn't really draw many fights at all.
Wasting time at that particular stage when the 3rd or 4th fake came in. Had to get that down, was going to fall for it.
Bit of a gap there.
Smokes towards the outside. For a team that picked this map, you don't want to see that. Wow, all sorts of smokes missed. 2 towards Garage, 1 on top of Mini. Gap towards Redbox, gap towards outside. Already a first frag's been landed by Impulse. Not great for the T's.
Especially because Bloggers has now been seen on that lurk getting out to Garage. Impulse having a couple of opportunities.
Missing the wall though.
Yeah. Dimki doesn't. Ooh.
Petchin doesn't either. The Eagle straight to the head. AWP of Impulse knows that he's out there somewhere. He's going to be wary of his teammate. Finally lands a shot. Brings in the 4 versus 2 instead. Savannah and Twist to rotate towards the outside. There was a Tech 9 and a Deagle to play with. A half buy here, so it's not too much of a loss for ESUBA to take this one on the chin. It will go 3-all. That way ONYX can start to play with a little bit of potential in this matchup. The AWP seen. Twist taps him in the back of the head. Doesn't get the 1-shot kill, but now has a rifle to work with. The Eagle of Savannah could catch Arrow. Oh no. 2v2, look out towards Mini, both players inbound, AK and M4, flash ahead, catches one individual completely blinded, but Twist ends up falling for it. Savannah gets a triple, clutches it still. That's a steal for ESUBA again.
Oh, the 18-year-old is having another great impact round. What a beautiful sequence from him, being able to start moving out from that left-hand side of that hut position and connecting both of those frags. Savannah is really stepping up today.
Oh, that's tragic for ONYX as well. Just when they were getting spooled up again, trying to get themselves inserted into the early game like they couldn't do in that last map up. And that should have been easy. That should have been so easy for them. It's not looking great at all. I think this is a tech pause coming in for this one as well. I would have thought it would be tactical off for the back of ONYX here because honestly, like they need to rethink how they played that round. That was pistols, upgrades, a half buy at best. Probably didn't even have a lot of Kevlar for most of those T players.
Yep.
So much lacking, and still they get it together.
Yeah, you have a look at the Kevlar, Savannah, and Petchin. That's the only couple of players.
And that's the other thing as well. They missed all the outside smokes. They'd had so many mistakes on ESUBA's part, and they still came out with a 4th.
Yeah, that was a 4v2 advantage too, at one single point there for ONYX. And I don't know how surprised we can be, because when we look over the course of what we saw yesterday, we saw a crazy amount of ecos being won. And that may just come down to the level of competition being lower than what it can be. I think when we get deeper into the event and we start getting those invited teams into the next stage of groups, that's probably where the eco stills start going down. And we don't get as many of them.
Yeah. Going to be a moment's respite, of course, to figure out this problem, whatever it might be. We'll get some more information for you as soon as we have it. ESUBA Still currently leading, still currently in control, and this T-side line that they found is, of course, beneficial to them on their own map pick. And there's any more reason for ONYX to be tilted in this matchup, I think they've just found it right there. Down by 2 rounds, lost an eco, down by a map in the series. AKs, of course, coming out for the ESUBA campus as well. Force invest from the CT forces. It's not going to look like a great buy. We will see at least 4 rifles in. A FAMAS on one player, though. Still not ideal.
It almost looks like a gun round, really, Jay. You've still got a couple of M4s, that FAMAS and that AWP to work with. It's going to be Dav with the limitation and probably see some early aggression. See if they can try and see if they can isolate an opening man advantage. Rotate Dav down to that lower bomb side. No one outside in the early portion for ESUBA.
Here's in for Dimkey. Petchin takes fight. Wins out the fight despite not getting the kill. 36 HP on Dimkey. 69 for him. Nice. 5v5 scenario still out towards the lobby control as the CTs just hold their own standard default plays in for the ESUBA camp, trying to force out these mistakes and force the adjustments into the rafters.
Yeah, get Dimkey back up to Mustang. ESUBA, it seems like it's going to be either event dive or an upper execution. Arrow with the re-smoke means that all the screen door players have to slow down for a moment.
Now Orpin the supports in. Nice crack angle towards the hut position. Towards outside as well, but again, everybody's indoors. That Molotov indicates so. Great smoke to try to draw their attention to the back site as opposed to heaven. Arrow. Get a chance to get a kill in. Eventually will look down. He does get dealt with by Savannah. Dimkey and Impulse have found 2 on the trot though, so 2 for 1 responses. Impulse gets involved with another good kill, drops that bomb and everything. I think it was recovered by Savannah though. Downstairs to the B site he'll go. He's isolated from Bloggers, however. It's essentially a 1v4 scenario.
Yeah, pretty much. And even for Bondic, if he's able to get this kill, he can just get onto the bomb straight away. Savannah's got to waste time.
Yeah, he takes that fight and wins it. That's a good start. Removes the ramp presence, but now they're going to come in from double doors and from the observation window. Bloggers making a lot of noise towards outside, trying to indicate what's going on. Savannah almost gets it, and now they have the info. He can't get there in time. This is the defuse. He hasn't got the kill, in fact, elsewhere on upstairs. So there you go. Nice retake in from ONYX. Far better stuff from them.
And what's crazy to think about is ESUBA have played Nuke 10 times in the last 3 months. They've got a 50% win rate. Savannah, on average, in those 10 maps, Jay, posts a 0.93 rating. He is not a player that normally puts up crazy numbers. He was very consistent in the first map, and now here on the T side of Nuke, he's 12-5.
Looking fantastic. See him there standing out from his teammates, who are still on single digits, of course. Tactical pause for ESUBA, thanks to losing that round. And I like it. Very early doors for them, should still be able to gain a massive amount of here. And all they really have to do on T-side, as you mentioned, their CT basis is still fantastic. So if they get a good half here, that might be all they need to beat ONYX.
Yeah, have a chat with their coach at BenQ, realise what the situation is. Again, ESUBA are a team that have only made some roster changes somewhat recently. The 16th of July, we saw Petchin and Savannah being added the team to replace NIO and Jao. Even saw the E-Live being a part of this team earlier on into the year before he got replaced to go over to Enterprise.
Of course, Enterprise playing a little bit later on today, so what a day it would be for both those teams to make it through to the main event. Sat in with damage done to Bloggers, a kill on Savannah to start things off. Of course, a bit more of a half-buy round again from ESUBA. They made it work last time. And again, the early kill comes in just like last time. The second one, however, was not on the table. Bondic drops that bomb and Twist can remove him. Impulse also responded to by Twist. Again, the Tech-9 comes up good. But now he's lost all his teammates, including the outside lurk. So it's him for the ace. AWP picked up. Downstairs presence. Yep, throw that away. Try and ensure that they cannot make it back here. So some damage has been done to the CT side.
I was just thinking to myself, where's he going to get rid of that? Because he's have to go all the way back out to T-Spawn, chuck over the fence. At least that way, you can't imagine if they get the kill, they're going to have time to double boost to get that AWP back up when they don't even know if it's there or not.
Yeah, smart call from Twist as well. Look at the AK instead to try and fight your way out of this position. 10 bullets in the mag, though. So going to win the first headshot. Dav, behind that red box. Spotted, taps up. Damage dished out towards Twist. That nade misses, unfortunately. Thrown a little bit too high. We got that headshot engaged back here towards the window over at the locker rooms. He'll try and make his way around the flank. And I think Dav spotted him. I know that Twist has certainly spotted him. And Dav, yeah, he's going to get that kill. Triple up for him. 4 all to the board. Doesn't go back for that AK, though. So that is still lost.
That was an alright eco. You'll take that for ESUBA. And for ONYX, it's about grinding these rounds in the first half.
Yeah.
Again, their T-side of Nuke isn't really that pretty. They have had some difficult affairs. You have a look at some of their results, even in advance, that don't get featured on HLTV. 10 rounds against D13 in total. 8 rounds against Pact in total on Nuke. And those games are only very recently.
And again, a lot of stuff to work with for the ESUBA camp. Smokes back. Nades on, damage being done early to the full buy round now. We're still rocking those 2 M4s that were brought back down in the previous round, plus 2 more reinvested. The SMG for Arrow having to hold value as Dav might be the first contact of the CT side. He hears those footsteps upstairs, knowing that they've crossed out. No one's engaged from ONYX. Over from ESUBA, the smokes are about to clear and no one's going to be seen.
Yeah, it seems as if Petrum had the idea that someone from the CT side was going to start making an aggressive duel and see if they can hook back into that secret position. No one did that, and now they've got the opportunity of getting the locker smoke down, getting that outside control. They've still got to deal with that M4.
Savannah can't do it though. Impulse wins the fight. Smoke out to get a bit more cover as well, potentially to cross out in the open. It's spotted out another individual, and both players are going to fire through said smoke. It will work out better for the T-side line as Impulse is now on 13 points of health. Bondek has got to come in to help him out, but he might let Petrum sneak past. Good kill. Take the headshot to a 4 versus 4, and must know that Impulse is back over to CT. He knows that he was the man that got the kill earlier. Continue facing. Dimkey elsewhere can strike onto Luko. Petchin still hunting for that man. I think he just spotted him there. And Impulse is going to hide.
They've got no HE. They can boost up over the top, try and get an angle. Impulse is so passive. All he needs is just try and stay alive, waste time.
Seen at least one. They're going to try fight him. He's getting damage together. He's got Twist as well. Petchin being suppressed. It's him and Blogus in the 2v4. And they're continuing to reveal info. Now Impulse knows where both players are at. He's getting another kill. A third to his board on 5 points of health. Now Petchin's got to go to the B site. He will catch off Dav. Take so much damage for it. Get that bomb plant at least. Some bonus money involved. No. Arrow, SMG takes him out of the round. Gets the 5th and the lead for ONYX.
It's not often you get CTs in that kind of a position. The only time they're forced there is when we see deep outside control being taken by the T side. And it's one of those angles that, because you are sort of in the forklift lines, it can be very difficult to get that trade-off for the Ts. So Impulse just tries to stay alive, do as much damage in, waste time, and does a perfect job. This CT side, it's looking decent for ONYX.
Very decent for Impulse, up to his 11th frag so far in this map. And it stuns me so much that the teams were unable to deal with him back over at that hell entrance. Like, that should have felt so easy because he's on 5 points of health.
It's just the position, isn't it? It's so tight with that forklift. I don't know, scaffolding. What do we call it? The bit of the forklift. It makes it difficult to actually connect that kill.
Was it the lift, I think?
Yeah.
Forklift lift?
You ever driven a forklift before?
No. Why would I ever have driven a forklift?
I heard it's decent pay to be a forklift driver.
Yeah, I probably actually. That probably would have been an alternative career path for me had esports not worked out.
Work at the docks.
Yeah, Nackenham Dock. You're right about that. Good shout. Good shout. Dimkey, Dav, lock down the double up, triple between those 2 players. Arrow comes up towards the rafters, reveals with Petchin, Twist 1 versus 5. And Impulse will deal with the last. All 5 alive for ONYX. 6-4 to the board. Now they can establish a CT basis, but the guns are back out for ESUBA.
Probably the first time in this series that they've probably had some enjoyment for ONYX, that they've actually felt like they're in a position of, we're doing well here, we're getting rounds together, we've got to leave. And ESUBA, they need to answer back. To think that they've only managed 4 rounds, Jay, and 3 of which came from the pistol, the anti-force buy, and the eco.
Another tactical pause coming in for ESUBA, their second in this game. Ooh, that does not look like a very calm individual over from the ESUBA camp. It doesn't look like things are gelling as well as they like it to. Where do we go with this? How do we fight our way out of this corner? They are still down by 2 rounds on T-side, so it's not the worst position to be in.
No.
And again, as you mentioned, it's probably a case of just grinding up as many rounds as possible for these guys.
Yeah, and ESUBA know when they get into the second half, that's probably where they'll start really putting some pressure forward. I didn't get to see Nuke in the last official when it came between the 2. Again, it was Vertigo that got picked out by ESUBA, wanting to go a slightly different way this time.
Smokes towards outside for the CTs to block off the T line. Luko can cross out to red box. There's no smokes towards red box cross. Will come in eventually. 2 of them coming down. No gaps left in that smoke. It does look like it's a little bit close, but no one's going to challenge it from the CTs. 1 man downstairs, an Impulse AK in his hand will smoke off that position initial. They definitely can't cross past that angle. ESUBA thoughts to rethink.
I like the way that Impulse doesn't even look for a 1-for-1, just slow the round down, get a smoke out, reposition towards single door decontamination, and for ESUBA, a lot of map presence for them to work with. See if they can start scrambling some of these rotations.
Minute 2 of the clock, M4 of Dav leans in. Molotov comes back as the CT player waits. They're not going to check him. He's got 2 easy kills. He comes up with Luco and drops that bomb. That is a bit of a lapse in judgment there from the ESUBA camp, not checking all of their corners. And Dimkey will turn up against Twist as well in the lobby position. So this round is over.
Yeah, Bloggers has been able to sneak up into heaven. Might be able to find a multitude of frags. He needs at least these couple. There's the first, not quite the second. What a turnaround from Dimkey.
Perfectly timed as he got towards close vents, recognized what's going on. He will challenge on Savannah, which will end his life in this round, but he got a dink off. 22 HP for Savannah now. Got done the perfect headshot at the perfect times, and somehow Impulse doesn't find that trade. 17 seconds though. Even if he can fight onto another player, get a triple involved, he's going to get covered off, and this bomb will just not get planted, so... Yeah, time ticking away. Best to die after time, preferably, I'd say. Back turn, yeah, Dad's just going to close it. Hold the same position for a triple. Savannah thought he would have repositioned, and he thought wrong in that context. 7-4 now for ONYX. CT side is finally starting to look good.
Yeah, poor clearance is what we can say about that round. The T side got garage control, didn't clear all their angles, and Dav gets a decent timing. He tries to turn away from the flash. He looks back in. 2 players aren't even looking at him. You'll take that any day of the week.
That leads to ONYX in a pretty good position. Again, their CT side is the one where we should see them take the lead here. If the ESUBA can still make this close, that could well be enough. 11-4 would be a pretty good scoreline, I think, for ONYX to be able to win out this matchup. So
excellent scoreline, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. 10-5 is where it starts to get a little bit suspect, and then from there on is when you start saying ESUBA have done a pretty good job in this half. Deagle's out, AK's in. Hero AK buy for Bloggis. He's going to be amongst the entire T-side force. All 5 players about to make their way in towards the ramp control. Bondnik has back up at an Impulse AWP. Luco to drop, Savannah to drop. Impulse to burn, looking for his triple on the way out of the round, but Twist finds his trade. Great flashing from Bondnik though. Gets a kill, blinds everybody. Can't quite land that second. Is forced to reload and fall back to the B site. He's got backup right behind him, but he gets the kill on Twist regardless. Petchin's grabbed the orb of Impulse now. Going to try sneak his way back up into the A site. 2 players to find on this. One at close vent, one at backline, gets the shot off, and we'll just drop in and get the bomb plant. Challenge on that player, but the plant is the best thing.
Yeah, got to get that extra money. Twist and Luco have got some, Savannah too, but you really want that extra cash injection. And for ONYX, they're giving him some real safety here. They're not fighting too aggressively.
ONYX going to force ahead of that, and he burns alive. Couldn't get the kill together. Petchin tapping it again, trying to force the player out towards the hot position. The squeaky door opening up to a pull distraction that should allow Dav to insert himself into the site. Back turn, easy kill, and Petchin just playing a bit too fakey there. Should have prioritized that bomb plant, especially as Bondnik has fallen.
Yeah, that was probably realizing that an opportunity actually presented itself to winning that round. ONYX giving way too many individual jewels in that sort of 1v4 situation. And that round, you could just see the way out in ramp. Impulse realizes so quickly the Molly's going to kill him because he's already getting tagged up. He might as well just fight again. He's not getting out there.
It's not a good round for ONYX. 8-4. To the board. They have won the CT half. ESUBA now with the guns back in to try to establish their 5th round. Impulse is aggressive this time towards outside. Nades, flashes and smokes in from the CTs to try and block off vision and follow them into that outside red box position, but the AWP gets nothing for it. Impulse actually falls away, so they are allowed outside control in the end. The smokes clear out. They put the cross smokes, diagonal smokes in. Try to get out towards secret here.
And this is one of the concerns I have about ESUBA, is they often lack a playmaker, Jay. And we saw that from Bloggers in map 1, or at least in the beer one, how well he did. Twist in that last map. What about here on Nuke? It doesn't really feel like anyone's stepping up to the plate to put large numbers up.
Well, Savannah currently has the most numbers out of anybody here on the ESUBA side.
Also has got 1 kill in the last 5 rounds.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, yeah, he had a really great start in the early part of the game. He's been quite quiet as of right now, so if there is a player you look towards, it probably would be him, but he's going to have to step up soon. He's making their way in towards the B site. Smoke's a bit awkward. Arrow's going to win that first fight on Petchin, but the Orphan can probably fire on. I think he landed 1 good leg shot on Luco. Twist will run the trade, however. 4v4. Bomb will go down.
Yeah, this is a very good post-plant position to be in. Dimky going back and forth, and at least ONYX coming through from this ramp position.
How did Bloggers get 2 kills on the sprays? Were they all caught in vents? I believe they might have done. It's Luco on low HP, finds BonDik next, and this whole round has fallen apart for ONYX. All that confidence, all that potential in this round should have been pretty easy for them. But then 2 Mach 10 sprays from Bloggers. You asked for a playmaker. He could well start come into his own now.
Yeah, I think he might have been at Radio Room, actually looking out towards that right-hand side of the ramp position. Wherever the impact was being found, it came in quick. It wasn't as if it was 1 second and then you wait a few. No, that Mach 10 struck so damn quickly.
Barely even spotted it. Barely expecting it on the part of ONYX. 5th round up to that board. Important again to keep the T-side line rolling, try and get the half to a decent position. ESUBA have guns as you would expect, so do ONYX on the buy-up. The M4s, the AWP will come in. No AWP for the T-side, but I don't think they like T-side AWP really.
Yeah, they haven't done a massive amount of it at all. You even look at the performance from Bloggers, and we were well impressed yesterday on Nuke. 45 kills, only 14 of them were with the AWP.
Fast play out, don't need an AWP for this. Aaron needs an M4 to shut down Twist. At least going to get engaged upon by Luco, and he gets a triple instead. Everyone falling for ESUBA. Bloggers next to face, Impulse to take him to fall, and fetching out his doors. It's a quadra out for Arrow. What's a hold from him?
And that's got to be confidence from the young man. I think Dav had an interview with HLTV sort of saying, oh, we've been quite impressed by Arrow. He's doing well. They even sort of hinted at the idea, or the interviewer tried to ask if there was a way of a permanent position onto the team. If he can continue to show the way that he is, there could be a gap for him.
Well, he has been the most impressive, well, not the most impressive element.
No, he's been good.
Yeah, no, he's been impressing me personally quite a lot here today, and over the course of the last couple of days in this event. His first appearance on LAN, I believe, as well. So, like, there's so much in terms of his experience in this particular tournament. We talked a little bit about how if he doesn't come to this team, if he doesn't get the call up to this squad, well, there's other teams that might be looking for newer players. ONYX, if they can turn it around on Nuke with his assistance, that could well be justification to enter.
And honestly, it probably seems like the way forward for a lot of these teams. Maybe not so much for call-ups. If you have a moment where a 5th player leaves the team, or something's not working out and you need to find a replacement, rather than waiting 2 months for an opportunity to come, you just get someone for the academy team to fill in.
Well, that's the case of what's happened right here. JR's out, Arrow's in. ONYX 9-5 at this stage. ESUBA looking to make it 6. 10-5 still a workable half as we enter round 15 with a lot of potential now for the ONYX camp, the AWP. Watch them as the outside control for Impulse again set with the big green. They're seeing nothing. A lot more inside, a lot more careful, a lot more passive from the ESUBA camp.
Yeah, BonDik hasn't even been able to find much impact out from ramp. Haven't seen a lot of ramp plays in from ESUBA. When we have, it's normally been Impulse that's rotated into hell, and they've just been shut completely out of it. Bloggers with that AWP is just waiting for a jiggle. BonDik's not moving at all.
Yeah, he's happy to sit here with his crack angle. It's Twist actually that forces out the fight with the AK. A dry peek in, not even supported by utility. I don't know if there was a fake on the run boost. Either way, the advantage goes the way of the ESUBA side. 60 seconds remain as they dive into the B-side play. Dav back over towards his observation window, and Savannah gets the headshot in against him. Now 3 players remaining. Impulse turns that AWP up close, opens up the double doors, and doesn't kind of flick Bloggers instead. But it's all for your battle. 1 out for the T side. Dimky and Arrow moving into the retake positions. A 4-on-2. Got to go for this. It's the last round of the half, and they spotted out that first player. At least the second man is an unknown entity. Back at the double doors themselves. Looking in from vents, going to try catch off a rotation here if possible. And now Arrow's been engaged. Tagged up, gets the kill away from Twist. Bloggers closing in pretty aggressive with the AWP. Needs to be careful about this. He misses that shot. That could be the window back in. 2-on-2. Looker in the back corner. Can't see Arrow. Dimky gets caught. Both players can line up. He brings it to a 1v1 scenario. A clutch scenario with Dimky on 1 point of health. He still lands the headshot. And I think he should have time for this defuse. Make it 10-5 at the half for ONYX.
What a clutch on 1 HP. That is near impossible. And Arrow and him and Dimky, how did they make that happen? Does it come down to mistakes? Perhaps. What is the AWP at Bloggers doing? He's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Just play the time.
I think that was the mistake that cost them there. Like that shouldn't have been that aggressive. To hold back in the rafters, I make a lot of sense to put the distance between you, so that way you have a bit more potential in the AWP's like long range.
Too hungry.
Far too hungry. Get the AK up there instead. Get an M4 up there instead. Not to be on this one. That's going to cost him. His double digits at the turn of the half for ONYX, and we talked about the 11-4 half being a fantastic scoreline for them to work with. 10-5, not as fantastic, but still pretty good.
Yeah, well, I said it when the map started that if ONYX really wanted to take this map, they need 9 or 10 rounds on CT, and they've got 9. So they've put themselves in a winnable position. It's not over just yet. They've still obviously got to get another 7 rounds or push it to sort of 6 rounds, right? See if they can get it even further. It's not going to be easy. It's the way forward.
Something else to note as well, you saw the face cams of the players right there. You notice how ONYX weren't too overhyped. They still know that they might be up by 5 rounds, but they're still down by a map, so there's no reason to celebrate until you get the series under wraps here. Very calm set of players. They go towards their T half. It's Twist that takes first contact in the pistol round. Out to the ramp take for ONYX. And outside of that first shot, no contact is taken.
Good positioning to come in from ONYX to get some aggression, but Bloggers is meeting them, and that bait from Pechin could be able to get them into the backstab.
I think they might be safe. 2 players to spot him. Key checks it, and Pechin misses the shot. Luca and Savannah trade back on the CT side, but Dab with a response of a 3 versus 2. Oh my god, yeah, they've dropped in. They can't get it back. They've got to win this on fights alone.
Oh, this is really not easy at all. They can boost on top of the hut position, get up to Mustang and go all the way around, or just go back to ramp.
And all CT players are covered off by hard cover. Down in the vents behind the doorways. Now both individuals spotted by Bloggers. He continuing to take fights against Dav. Tagged up Impulse in the interim. And now from vents, a second player can support it. Still got that squeaky door player to play the outlines, and Impulse just going to rotate away. Try and see if he can chase down Bloggers here. Now he's seen that bomb, and now he knows for certain Dav's going to try fight him. Tag to 42, giving away the info. Impulse gave chase. Bloggers could also get counterflanked here. They've got to go back to this position for the bomb anyway. And indeed, Bloggers gets caught. 2v2, a chance now for ONYX again.
Just get that bomb down, chuck it down to a teammate, leaves Impulse in that heaven position.
They both have heard that drop at the very least. They should know that he's up there. Straight retake. Savannah and Twist making their way in. Dav caught off. Not tagged up, not taken down just yet. 100 HP for both players of the CT forces. Dav takes engagement, and Twist wins out against Impulse in the rafters. Dav with 1 good headshot, not quite the second. Savannah comes up with the clutch and holds it together for the CT side.
Oh, I feel for any T-side team, no matter if it's a pistol, it's an eco, or it's a rifle rounds, that you've got players down at the top bomb site, the bomb gets dropped in heaven. Because Nuke is one of those maps, it's so difficult to get that bomb back. And it looked as if they wanted to try and get on top of Hut, boost that player up to the rafters, get the bomb. That didn't happen, so Impulse has to go outside. They probably did the best they could with what they had. They still got a bomb plan, so the opportunity of a force-up is definitely here.
6th round of the board of ESUBA, and they're not going to go for the force buy. Okay.
Early rifles in the next.
I respect this, actually. I like this a lot, because a lot of teams, they just force up with Galils and hope for the best, and then they lose it and they go to the eco anyway, so that could leave it to a 10 to A. At least it's where you guarantee AKs when it comes to round 18, and from there, with the economy that shouldn't really be built up by ESUBA that much, probably on for another half buy, eco, force invest. It won't be looking great for the CT side.
And knowing that ONYX's T side isn't great, if you want to give yourself the best chance of winning the rounds, you probably need the best weaponry rather than some of those limited buys. Even on this eco, I wonder how much impact is going to be found. We've still got some upgraded pistols.
Deagle overbearing here from the top of Silo. Smokes to cross. And to Redbox cross as well. Bit of a gap there on the right-hand side of that one. Luco knows it, so he's going to try and exploit it. I think Bonnet recognized that as well. Blogger's going to bait out information, take fight, win out 2. Not quite the triple. Impulse there with the trade. Flash thanks to force forward as Dav run his way right downstairs to gain control. Savannah will find Dimkey in the interim, so it will be a 4 versus 2. Favorite ESUBA, of course. There is an M4 to play with for Dav.
And things get quiet, and for ONYX, the only way damage can really be done is if they can force overpeaks. If they can try and get these CTs aggressive forward. Dav with this M4 needs to bring out the left-hand side. There's another pick.
Okay. 3 players standing now for ESUBA.
Bomb plan, maybe.
Big possibility, I want to say. 2 in a row would actually do them quite well. No smoke to get out of double doors and plant open and be secured against the CT forces. Twister's already here as well. They'll flash their way out as the doors do open up. Now Luco's got the crossfire with the SMGs. It is mostly SMGs, and those kind of weapons have not really been all that impactful for them against the M4. Now Twist can take him down, and Luco can follow suit on Impulse, so far better from those 2 players by comparison. Can't get the M4 back out. They're a hair too late towards it, so there has been damage done to ESUBA.
3 rounds the difference. ONYX now putting themselves in a position where get the AKs forward. We'll try and see if we can put pressure on. And for ESUBA, I'd like to realize where this SMGs are going to be playing from, because you'd have to imagine, knowing they're going to be up against a rifle round, probably need to be playing those SMGs quite aggro.
7th round for ESUBA with guns coming out again for ONYX. They were looking towards this buy most of all. Hard invest back in the several players that fell as well. 3 individuals on just 3 digits of money line. $450 at best for the likes of Petchin. They've got a couple of high rollers and bloggers and twists, so the economy game again, not that fantastic for ESUBA. They kind of need this round.
They only went 1 smoke outside and put a fair bit of pace into that main position to make it very difficult for Luco to swing out. Taking this garage control as well.
Smoke ahead to get a bit more map control for Luco. Petchin watching. And the engagement against Dav is pretty easy and out in the open. Dry face, and Dav just kind of gets caught with his pants down. Dimkey's at least there for a trade.
The trade's important, because if that bomb just gets dropped in the open and time gets wasted, it allows CTs to start combining into that position. Dimkey's going to take the high road, try and get into that heaven position. It all comes down to the distraction and the util that can put him in place.
They've got a great read on this as well. Savannah was watching heaven for a moment. They have got bloggers that turns their attention back towards there now. Arrow to walk in for Mini. Smokes up will indicate that they're definitely going towards the position. Savannah's going to try with this fight out towards Mini, and he will get Arrow. Luca's fallen in turn. Savannah ends up with a double. Drops that bomb again in Mini. So 3 on 2 with a major piece of kit available to the CT side. Flashes ahead of the game. Savannah is trying to play a close range against Bondic. Makes it a triple. Leaving Dimkey alone to clutch it. He got that first trade in this round. The first kill for the T-side line. Now needs to make it a quadra. 20 seconds to make it happen. It's not going to happen. 4 kills for Savannah, and what a hold he's had in this one. 22 frags deep. Beautiful stuff.
I think I'm turning into a Savannah fan. He's really impressive here on Nuke.
I think I am too.
Yeah, well, he's the youngest player on this team. He's 18 years old, hasn't had a lot of pro experience before joining up with this side, the Slovakian, in with the Czech Republic team. He's doing well. He's putting on a good performance, and they know that we're already a map up in the series. If we can really start pushing this CT side, we can get close to 10-10, we can start taking a lead, and then we'll be on victory row of getting a 2-0, moving into the next stage.
That's the big thing we're talking about for ESUBA as well, is the fact that both their halves are fantastic. The T side for ONYX is a bit, this.
And 5th, 6th in the IOC. They had to go through a second course to be able to get here.
Yeah. They lost to ONYX in the elimination game as well, which is the big thing about this.
See you later.
Big revenge for ESUBA and for the qualification spot to the main event. This would be huge for them. 1:15. So far, damage has been done to Savannah by this half bite. ONYX are trying to hold some fight here in round 19.
Yeah, just hoping to see if they can crack open this ramp position, get that bomb down to the lower bomb site. Twist just needs to take contact and fall away.
Shots on, 2nd kill. 3rd kill, not quite as confident. Bondic can overwhelm. Got back about towards Hell. Savannah will trade back Arrow. Doesn't allow Bondic to get hold of that weapon that was held by the CT player. Will eventually force him away so he can gain it back. The bomb's been dropped, however. They have that info for the CT forces. Bondic will go ahead and try to see if he can pick the weapon back in, and with the bomb on his back. AK with utility as well to drive him away. Try get downstairs to the B site if possible. Dimkey's on his way in from secret.
Dimkey and Bondic need to start regrouping together in this 2v4. See if they can get a crossfire lock. See that player out to the back of the side. Blockers isolating those 1v1s to absolute perfection. I love the way that it's slight movements. It's that strafe out to the left-hand side. It's the slight reposition that just allows him to get both those picks pretty easily.
The 9th round to the board of ESUBA as a result. Big stuff from bloggers. Of course, it was kind of a half-by round, so it's not massive stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
There's that vertical keyboard you were talking about as well, by the way. I literally just clocked that.
Yeah, it couldn't feel good. I know that I'm sort of 45 degrees rough. That's like 90 right there.
Yeah. I don't know how you play with that. I'm not gonna ask either. Nades up. Damage being done to Arrow. Follow up HE from bloggers. Gets a little bit further away, so not a mass amount done at the second phase. Smokes on the position. Teams are going to cross. Diagonal smokes up. They start to clear, though. They're a little bit late, but fortunately, no CT is watching that angle, so they get by safely.
Yeah, it does mean that Dav is kind of stuck here in T-Red, and that might help try and force some of those rotations away, leave him as that lurk outside to catch any eyes on some of the CTs rotating down to that secret position. Arrow putting that molly out to the double doors. It does seem as if they are making some fair few noise and footsteps down to this lower bomb site, so the read is definitely here. There's only one player to defend of Twist.
Shot from Bloggis in from ramp, sees one lurker. Oh, he's going to take another pop shot. The perfect timing there for ONYX. It felt like it was going to be appropriate to do so. It's not the case. Down in decon for 3 individuals. ONYX still waiting upstairs at the squeaky door. It could join his teammates via the vent dive. They'll go for wallbang attempt at the smokes. The cross, flashbangs will blind off Twist entirely. Still sees a couple of players, but only gets the one shot. Drops that bomb on his to catch the info, but ONYX can strike upstairs, count off those rotations. Get 1 and 2. Savannah with a trade. It's a 3-on-2 for ONYX though.
Yeah, that was really well played from ONYX. So much distractions coming down to that lower bomb site. The 1-for-1 trade, the bomb being seen, and ONYX just cuts the rotates off from Squeakdoor. He gets 2 kills. That's the round over. Savannah and Bloggers have to save.
Yeah, no choice in the matter on this one. No presence on the B side. And the money's pretty good here, so they can still afford the rebuy. If they lost these 2 weapons, they probably couldn't get the AWP and the AK. Well, they're certainly going to get the AK out, but they wouldn't be able to afford the AWP and another rifle. Be a bit difficult to justify. With this, they can drop weapons, they can invest on everybody. This will be the first round of the T side for ONYX, meanwhile. 4 rounds deep, of course, to allow ESUBA to get themselves all the control and establish their second half basis. And whilst they will find their start in this half, they're not out of the woods just yet.
And it's moments like that where ESUBA just get caught sleeping. You always have to be thinking, if there's a lower take, where's the lurk? Who is it? Luco, who's playing main, feels like he doesn't even have that awareness that Squeakdoor is a possibility for a lurk, and he just gets caught in main. Just not even jiggling, not even pre-aiming that position, and for ONYX, that's an easy couple of kills.
Could have thought that Twist could have been the main player that could have stopped this whole thing from falling apart, but him being alone and being flanked in by 2 angles definitely doesn't help that. Guns in, M4s, AWP in the AK saved, of course, for Savannah. No AWP for the T side. Logis, oh, engagement. Could line up 2, it's a bit mistimed, but he finds Arrow at the very least. Tries to escape back towards Mini, and he escapes with his life as well. Tagged up, not even that heavily either. 97 points of HP, and the one-way for Luco. He's run out of ammo, the nade should finish off the job. No, somehow Dimkey's alive, but Luco finally finds his kill.
So much manic going on there for the City side. They get the AWP aggressive, great opening man advantage, and even for that one-way smoke out from Secret, it grants another.
5-on-3 gained for the CTs. Petchin's watching out the squeaky entrance. Expecting there to be some sort of T-side pop. He's got players up in the rafters as well. Molotovs will try to drive those players away. That one's going to land on towards the hut itself, so back for Savannah, going to wait for his position. Petch is still waiting at the back of the site. 1 kill the Bloggis. Bondi gets 2 to return, and now Dav's going to left alone as his teammates are falling around him. Flashes ahead of the game. Bomb on his back, trying to get the plant in, but flanks inbound as well from the fence position. He's going to counter flank here. He might sneak past them here. Twister going to cut him off though. Smart play from him.
Yeah, Dav's got no way to room, and now just gets caught out. And this is where we start getting back to the conversation, Jay, of when you're a team that don't play Nuke and you've got a weak T-side, you need a massive lead into that T-side to just recover the scoreline. It was 10-5 at the turn of the half. Yes, ONYX have managed a round in the second half. Their lead is only by 1. That feels like it's going to get taken away so quickly, and maybe it's even this next round.
Tactical pause for ONYX to try and change the narrative here.
Just let Dimke, like, after
Discussions are involved, pretty intense discussions it feels like by the looks of things.
go and search
1 round so far in this half. They need a whole lot more if they want to try and bring this back. And again, they're mapped down for those of you just joining us and those of you who haven't been keeping up with this series. They lost their own pick at 16-5. At least it's a decent scoreline in this one. But if you take into account the T-side context, a single round thus far, like ONYX just needs so much more than that.
Yeah, Farkas, the coach there from the Serbian team, trying to see if he can just let them know, guys, it's still on. We just need to start pressing the issue, get some pressure on, and make sure that they maintain some of this outside control, because in that last round, ESUBA took it away from them so quickly.
Smokes to the cross. AK Bondic is watching out a Squeaky to try and catch the player over at close vents. I think they know that he's there. There's no smokes in position either. I think one just went down for the CT forces, so he could, in theory, escape. Right now, the default still setting for the CT forces. Twist is challenged. Blogger's going to come back with the AWP. Will get overwhelmed as Dimkey catches him on the flank. He thought that the T's did not make their way out, so that's an engagement with a kill, and Luca's been tagged at 13.
That was a very dry walk into ramp, and it did catch the CT sleeping off guard. And Twist rotating down to that lower bomb site has to be the first point of call to try and bring an advantage back. Things look excellent here for ONYX.
Smoke on the windows. Dav still watching the Hell entrance, expecting there to be a reface from other CT, but nobody's out there. Twist is surrounded. He's the only player on the B side. He's either got to defend this, hold the round, or force his teammates to say they ain't going to help him. Dav engaged. Great kill for Twist. Repositions, does not look to the window though. Arrow secured the round itself. Savannah actually rotates. They're going to try go for this. Pops in, pops Arrow, pops back out, and closes the door. 3 versus 3. The bomb should get planted, and now 2 players sneak their way up ramp. They're not watching this.
Well, they've got a HE for Petchins. If they could put that in a decent position out to Dark, there could be a level of in. And there it is, Luko catching Bondic off.
Oh, but Petchin falls back to Dimki. So it's the 2 versus 2, and Impulse holds the orb with that slight gap. That hole popped in the decon door. Luko on 11 points of health. As great as that kill was in the rafters, this 1v2 is not on for him. He's got to save the AK. Give up 12 to ONYX, and they can maintain the lead.
It's an AWP saved in, so it's something into that next round. What a shot that is from Impulse. When you think of how small that gap is through the single door, out of decontamination, and when I saw Bondic getting up to the rafters, getting caught out from ramp, I thought, oh, this retake's really on. Impulse and Dimki, they played together so well in that one.
And nicely done on those trades, because with that Luko kill as well, you thought, okay, this is going to start going right now. They're still got a player at decon, but then Petchin fell. They popped out that hole in the door, and that was it. 2014. 7 years ago.
Yeah. Probably when a lot of these guys were towards the higher end of their careers back then. I guess probably still were playing back then at a decent level too. A lot of the guys from ONYX have been around for an incredibly long time.
I'll trust your opinion on that one, or your knowledge on that front. I can't verify for certain, so anyone wants to correct Dwayne, it's at Dwayne CSGO on Twitter, not at the Eternal J. Don't DM me. 12-10. ONYX still hold the lead. ESUBA. Bit of a broken buy for this round. Still got the rifles across most individuals, and Twist has the SMG. That's the main sticking point for this one. Playing passive, expecting there to be an early hit, but they're just going to wait for ONYX to give up some information. It's been such a quiet start in this round.
I have a very good feeling that Bloggers is going to start heating up in this late stage of the CT half. Haven't really seen a lot from him on Nuke. He's got the AWP out. He's looking in that outside position, waiting for some contact to come in. In the lockers angle, very tight angle. No smokes towards outside just yet.
In position with the Molotovs, smoke on towards the mini entrance as soon as you say that. And also out towards the locker room, so suppression involved for most of the CT entry points. They will charge their way towards outside. Bloggers counter smoke. AWP leaning above it. Expecting to be a boost. He might have been heard on that scope. With Dimki and Arrow slow wall to try counter it. He'll get upstairs towards Heaven. Savannah's watching for the Heaven entrance. 35 seconds. Still yet to see a kill coming in.
Yeah, they've got to flash their way through into this Heaven position. Otherwise, for Savannah, he might catch him off.
Bloggers with the kill. Savannah with 2 to line up. And Arrow drops in the same. Looks up towards the top of half, but he doesn't get the kill. Bloggers to win the backside. Gets his second. Almost turns around for the triple. Needs to land on Dimki, and that's exactly what he does. 2v1, Impulse with his own AWP. He's got to find Bloggers somewhere. He's got to find where Twister's come from. He has no info to that CT in 10 seconds to do all of this. Squeaky door opened up. Twister knows he's got to evade him. Impulse is going to go for the save. It's 11 for ESUBA.
What a round from Bloggers. A huge 3K from him. And for Savannah, even though he just got crouch peeked into an insane peek from Arrow, it was what happened after that. How they gathered the information, saw that top split coming through. ESUBA turn it into 11. Have a look at these last 5 rounds, Jay. Back and forth, individually won. That's going to start really coming down to who's got a stronger economy.
Yeah, and whether or not the ONYX side can continue to maintain that sort of war of attrition, because they're currently in the lead. Tactical pause to figure things out and go from here. ESUBA need to break this. They need to find 2 in a row. They need to try to find equalization against ONYX. So the economy state might not be able to support another reinvestment for the back of the ONYX boys. Take a look at the money in a short few moments' time, because that's going to be a very important factor going forward.
I like the way that there was just the safer approach there for Impulse. There's, 10 seconds left on the clock. Are you really going to win a 1v2? Are you going to back yourself? No, just save onto it. Get that reinvestment through. Get Bondic on one of those AKs. Couple of Galils out for Dimki and Arrow. It will be Dav on just a Mac 10.
Now, reset potential applies both ways here for both ONYX and ESUBA. Heavy investments from both sides. ONYX have lost bonus to fall back on, but I don't think it will enable a buy going into round 25. So for ESUBA, this is their chance to get the lead. Smokes on the position, burst fire from that M4. Twist hunting for a blind pick, and he's not going to see anything. At least not right now. Arrow left to the outside lurk. All 4 of the T-side players going to make their way to wrap.
Yeah, Twist has been pretty decent at holding this ramp position. It all just comes down to finding that contact falling off, and that sound cue would have been heard.
Twist, flash in, counter flash to the T side, flash as well. Blogus will get caught by it, and Twist has got to fall down to the B side. Blogus just the hell out of there. Not going to take the re-engagement, not going to fight for ramp.
Just playing it passive, playing it safe, not getting too antsy. And for Arrow, with all that distraction being pulled in from the hell and ramp position, it allows him to get a pick outside.
There's a frag. Vantage, Onyx, ESUBA have Twist. SMG for Luco. Harrow might not detect it, and indeed he goes down, but Twist gets caught off guard the same. A 4-on-3 for ONYX as they gain the B side. Looking for the plant down. Luco could open up double doors here. ONYX is ahead of him, though. Find that trade instantly. Petchin starts leaning in towards Deacon to open up that door. Look for Bondnik next up. Flashes ahead of the curve. And there comes the kill. 3-on-3. Luco still waiting. Going to try baiting Dab. He thinks it might be safe. Mac 10 versus Galil. Galil comes up better. Dimki gets caught. And wallbang detected as the wall gets popped open itself. Dimki with a double up. Blogus trying to get in the midst of the smoke and try to find the defuse on the bomb. He can't see it though. Switching to the AK. And again looking through that murder hole. Impulse just waiting, sees him, catches him with a quick scope. Blogus finds the kill though, no info on the last. Bombs in the open, got to tap and set the whole defuse here. He's tapped it once, gets killed off, and Dimki gets an all-important 13th for ONYX.
There's a good reason why Dimki's the best player on this map of Nuke for this ONYX team. He has really been stepping up on this second half. 23 kills and 15 deaths. And for ESUBA, you put yourself in an awkward position now because there is a few players that are double eco status. They've got to make a decision here. Do we completely buy it up or give ourselves a complete USP round and an okay looking buy in the next?
Another tactical pause called in by ESUBA. I think they're third or they're fourth so far in this game. It's been a long time, I've lost track. They've been quite liberal with their usage of said tactical pauses. This one is getting real close, real down to the wire. But ONYX is all about survival in this matchup. Again, ESUBA had no loss bonus coming off the back of that last round, so they're probably on double eco status for the majority of players.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, is just how many people cannot buy going into the next rifle round. And that's always the case of, if you do go back and forth, it's often the CT economy that's going to get ruined, and they have to force up here.
That might lead to ONYX getting the 15. The question is, do ESUBA want to get 2 force buys in, or do they want to play for overtime? Already Luco's fallen. Out of the smoke, a great shot from the AWP. Bondnik with the Mac 10 onto Blogus will get him next. A 2-man advantage. Savannah will get one trade. Looking for the second. Needs to find his second. It's not going to happen though. Bondnik. Mac 10's just one better. Petchin and the smoke off. Somehow maintain his life. Not going to trade for it. 2-man advantage regardless. Twist is also aggressive. He's baiting in the AWP. Still trying to push the issue here. I guess he kind of needs to make a play, but the firepower just isn't there.
No, and that was ballsy from Bondnik in the 4v2 to aggress forward. They do calm themselves down and just wait for over-aggression to come through. Petchin's best chance is just to hold on to the 5-7, the MP9. He might not even have a chance to do so, though. He's playing it lower, and that's where they're coming from.
He's going to try stand and fight. Molotov to his position, smoked off, denies that bomb plot. 5-7 pulled out, gets dinked for his trouble, 11 HP and Bonnet with the blind spray. Won't get him in the end. Good effort, but again, just so much to do, such little resources to do it with. 14-11, ESUBA. Again, that question, do they force the buy?
I really hope they don't. You got to give yourself the best chance of going into this map with a victory, and you have to play for OT. You force it here, it's pretty much game over. You had a chance in the last round, it didn't quite pay off, so take the light eco. Impulse, what a great opener that was, and that just started everything.
14th to the board of ONYX. And yeah, eco for ESUBA. We'll get to map point for ONYX. They're going to try play OT. Twist comes up with a kill somehow against Bondnik. I'm kind of shocked that he might make that work to back them in for Savannah. There's a lot of damage as well to several T-side individuals. So Impulse and Dav could be in a little bit more hot water than they might expect. They'll open up the windows. We'll try and force Petchin away from Deacon. Luco in the front corner. I don't think that USP is sticking out. One on top of the way. Dab does not get check-in, so Luco can find a kill, and a Petchin kill comes in as well. 2-on-2 scenario, and he gets another Petchin. USP up against Harrow as the last player. On for the clutch AK spray, counts him in the shoulder. Bloggers gets a Mac 10, but still Arrow's being tagged up heavily. 2 players to deal with. And an automatic. Arrow's on 12 points of health. This Mac 10 at this range could still work out. He's just got to land a single bullet. Arrow spotted again. Bloggers bursting up, and he's going to fall away. Try attack from a different position.
Arrow, just get that bomb down. Put yourself in that post-bar position, and Bloggers go in from the vent. Might try and see if he can catch him off.
This eco steal could be everything to ESUBA. He's coming in fast. I think he's being heard here. Arrow's adjusting towards it. The double doors opened up. Bloggers making a lot of noise towards this. He really wants to get the challenge. I think he knows that Arrow's low. Got to check this corner. Oh, and Arrow lands it. Holds his composure. The Young Gun wins the 15th map point for ONYX.
That's a massive round for the youngster to win. And whether it's an eco or not, it doesn't matter. What the circumstance is there is them not finding 15 if that clutch doesn't come through. That puts ONYX in a perfect position to go forward one more round, and we're going to a third.
That we are. I honestly think it's on. I think we're going to have a third in the series, but we wrote it off so early as well. We took that 16-5 and we were like, wow, ONYX getting absolutely decimated.
Yeah.
Their opponent's map pick. The T side isn't great. Well, the T side came alive in the last handful of rounds. ESUBA were looking to catch up, and they did do that, but they weren't able to go so far as to actually get the lead or to win this one outright. Still got 4 to maintain OT. M4s across the board. AWP for Bloggis. Default set in for both sides.
Yeah, ONYX, pressure would definitely be building to just get this over and done with. And when you have a look at the util standpoint here for ESUBA, you think to yourself, you've got to try and hold on to these nades as late into the round as possible. And one of these top side plays could be coming through, at least trying to draw more util.
10 seconds to the minute. Smokes ahead of Petchin. Tries to isolate Bondik, but Bondik sneaks ahead of the smoke instead. So close, and you won't know that that player's out there. Will drop into vents, make no noise for it. Such a tiny, tiny amount of information being given up here by ESUBA.
Yeah, even Luco thinking about re-smoking down towards his hut position, trying to slow it down. ONYX is just going to go.
Lots off towards close, vent, smoke up towards Mini. Still got that vent player to worry about, but it's Savannah that takes forward. Base gets 1, only 1. And now Petchin leads forward, 2 to catch. He gets them both as well. Switch to the AK Impulse caught in the back lines. And that is how you play the anti-execute. 12 to the board of ESUBA, they're still alive.
Money's just wrecked now for the ONYX side, and that one right there, all the distraction being pulled, the vent rotate coming up in a huge way possible. ESUBA, that's a round that really starts putting some confidence back in them.
Tactical for ONYX, what must be their 3rd or 4th at this stage. Things still aren't over for them just yet. They are still not out of this matchup. They are still not in with a win. There is still overtime to play for. And ESUBA is looking composed as ever, knowing that, yes, they're on the back foot. Yes, they've got reason to be worried, but there's no reason to panic yet.
Try to tell that to a young team on LAN, right? That's what the coach is there for, possibly. Yeah. ESUBA, they're in an okay position to take this into overtime. Again, money situation's not perfect. Great repositioning in from Petchin and getting support too from some of those ramp players coming out. You could see Savada getting hyped up there. Bloggers, he's calm.
That's what I mentioned before. Composed. 3 to go for ESUBA to get this to an overtime position. Tech9's out for the rush out towards the A side. Dimkey caught first. Luco overwhelmed by the numbers game. AWP for Bloggis might struggle a little bit, but they've walked past Petchin again. Back home in an open vent. He might catch Dav in the corner. AK engaged, and he will end up dropping for Arrow's low. Easy pick. It's 4. Petchin makes it a triple. And Arrow now in the 1 versus 4. They have secured a bomb plant at least, so for this half by there is bonus money going into the next one for the ONYX side, but it's 13 for ESUBA, continuing to maintain this match.
I don't know if they're going to buy next round, Jay, because that was a force buy in round 28. Yeah, you've got the bomb plant. Money is still not going to be fantastic. It's probably better to have a light eco in round 29 and give yourself the full weaponry in round 30.
So shocking to me how similar the numbers are across this board. Both sides posting up their best efforts here in the late stages of the second half. Whether it's the late stages of the game, well, we'll find out in the next couple of rounds here. 13. ESUBA, 2 to go. Bondik, rush out. Deagle involved, or he was going to indicate a rush initially. Molotov stop him from doing so ahead of the squeaky door. His teammates working towards outside instead will try and engage.
Yeah, Impulse, if he could get this pick onto the AWPer, that could be a massive way into the round. It all just comes down to the first advantage.
It's Impulse outside. Bondik firing through the massive gaping hole left in the squeaky door, picking easy for the M4. Petch didn't look up and tagged up though, so those pistols have not been completely ineffective.
And you can see that they haven't bought heavily into this round. Why would you? The only thing you're hoping for is to drop a couple of players, take those AKs out of play. The main objective is going to have to be the next round.
Blogus finds Impulse. Dimkey out of the red box, smokes down from both him and Savannah. Pressing secret entrance and squeaky entrance. Squeaky utility into the likes of Twist, incendiary towards the ramp entrance. So all bases covered for the CT side.
I remember for ESUBA, they were up 15-13 against the AGO side in the best of one yesterday. It went to OT. They lost those last couple of rounds in a row and then converted in that overtime win.
Looks like they might be able to do a similar thing here against the ONYX side. Another round to the board. ESUBA now within one. Again, our second map to overtime. Try to win in 2 maps this series. ONYX have the guns though. Again, those last 2 buys were pistols. They were half buys, they were decos. Now there's AKs across the board. Utility for everybody, no expenses spared. Round 30, decide it all.
And last time we saw the head-to-head between ONYX and ESUBA, it was overtime in map 3 on Mirage that went 19-17, not map 2. Early nades going out towards that mini position. Bonnet trying to see if he can get some damage down onto Luco in the early rounds. Not a lot of it done. And the outside smoke's coming through for ONYX. There's a bit of pace behind this.
And Luco to be suppressed by them. Arrow's going to try to push ahead of the game. Oh, the AWP. I thought he landed that. He tried to abuse a slight gap. Look for the feet. He spotted 3 players crossing, but didn't connect a shot on any of them. So they give information, but no kills found.
And Bondic heard Savannah dropping down from that top hut position, pitching over it, crashing, and Bondic whiffs it. That's the opening advantage going the way of the checks.
That's the start. 4 to find for overtime. A minute to the clock. Incendiaries as well. Will try force the T-side back or forward. Bloggers to peek in, try to look for the information. The flick towards Impulse is great. Dav at least finds a trade, but they're still down by a man.
Yeah, ONYX don't really have the room to work with to go back up to the top bomb site. They don't have enough information, and this outside reposition from Twist could be everything if he is not getting checked.
A crack angle as well, so he's got the advantage on vision. Trying to thin it out even more. Dav looking into Mini. 2 could line up. That could be round. Indeed, he gets himself a double. Dimkey out towards Mini. Also caught off looking the wrong way, and ESUBA will take us the full distance. Overtime for map 2.
Well, ONYX have blown it, haven't they? 15-11 up, 4 rounds to work with of that map point, and we're now going to OT. That has got to be such a heartbreaking feeling, knowing we were there, and now we're somehow in overtime.
And look at the confident looks, the smiles they have on the ESUBA side. They know what they've just pulled off. They might have blown regulation. Will they bottle in this match? ONYX did so much to get to this position, and that is the more hype. Now they're starting to get excited. Now they're starting to come into their own.
And knowing that there's so much money to work with in overtime, Bloggers is going to get on that AWP every single round. I don't know how much double AWPing we'll see. Probably not a massive amount. Maybe Dav might pick up the double AWP over in the second half on the CT side for ONYX. Right here, though, you'd have to imagine for the Serbian side, they would love to be able to start off with overtime on the front foot and not be on the receiving end of just a massive streak.
Smokes on, nades up, AWP looking in, the one-and-done position for Bloggers. We saw him play this yesterday. He's found a pick for it, trying to smoke himself off, get himself out of dodge here. When he reface to the left, he's got flashbangs in from his teammates to support it. Arrow's already crossed and heard Luco to spray through, tag him up, not get the kill. Now the AWP has got to escape.
Yeah, crazy that Bloggers is still alive here and has not been dropped. Now we get to see some fiery stuff down to the secret position. The T's looking to create some space to their road to the lower bomb side. Bondic needs a ramp pick.
AUG to challenge, pitching on scopes. And that might have just gifted Bondic his life here. He's not got any tag damage done towards him. Bloggers not going to support Petchin either, and that might be a bad call. Bondic has won the fight at 4 HP. It's a 4v4.
He is low. One player to defend at this lower bomb site. All comes down to Twist.
Sees him. Doors opened up. Going to try force him out into the open. Now they can go for the wall bangs. Or just the straight up kill. Bondic takes phase. He's still just giving Twist nothing. Just the information to play with. The backstab will finally come forward, but they missed their window to catch Bondic. Arrow with the kill back on Twist. 4v3. They have the B site.
So much distraction being pulled by Bondic. ESUBA bringing a couple of players into ramp. It seems that everyone's going to be coming here.
Push forward. AWP in for Bloggis. Counter flash in from the from the T side, I should say. Bondic backing up, trying to look for that AWP's position. Or Look towards the left entrance. He gets his second kill. Luco will drop. Bondic on for the triple. Savannah gets 2 back of his own arrow there with the trade. It's Bloggis, the AWP, the star man of yesterday. 26 kills deep in this one. Time is ticking away. He's dropped into the site, has the bomb in his sights as well, taps it once, trying to force Impulse to peek. That flashbang turned away from. Sees arrow, gets the shot, and now the double doors open up, but time's too far ticked. Bloggis can't get on the defuse. He will land a stellar second. A triple overall for the AWP, but it's not the round for ESUBA.
Nah, not enough. Those kills just not coming in quick. And for ONYX, what a play that was for Bondic. He is alone out in ramp. He gets that first pick on 4 HP, and then he's just running distraction. He's strafing left, he's strafing right, out from the ramp position. And then from there, Twist is just so exposed in the open. He drops some arrow out to that radio room, and, well, ONYX somehow recover that round.
This must be their last tactical. Like, what is this? Like, how many tacks have we seen between the... I mean, it's a breath of fresh air, because we never see tacticals. Well, I'm being informed that this is the last tactical indeed. All 8 tacticals have been used, so no more left involved in this matchup.
Probably a good time to bring it out here.
Yeah, probably, I'd say. ONYX won that round, but only by the skin of their teeth. Like, they need more confidence than just that.
Yeah, and even for Bloggis, he would have felt as if he did a lot in that round and wasn't received enough with some of his teammates. He gets that opening kill outside on the top of garage. He even able to, I guess you could say, win the 1v2, but not have the time to be able to get that defuse forward. Gets a triple in all. It is a lead coming through for ONYX, and again, they had 4 rounds to do so in regulation. It's going to be an OT where they get the lead.
Bloggis is AWP ahead of the smoke. Luco is going to take the blind fire for it, instead catch Dimkey. Start things off for ESUBA. Savannah trying to find a similar position outside. Look ahead of those cross smokes, or at least one of them. Bit of an awkward set of smokes overall here from the T-side line. Several of them will start to clear. Arrows again lurking towards outside. It was a respectable position for him to be able to deal with previously. Didn't quite look into the round if memory serves me correctly. It might be the recovery that ONYX need.
You think back to yesterday in that best of 1 against AJO, and in OT it was actually Twist and Luco who really stepped up to defend that AWP of Bloggis. We're seeing Luco, the in-game leader, start off with an important opening man advantage. And for ONYX, it doesn't seem like they've got much room to work with. You've got that lurk outside of Arrow. The rest of the players still in the lobby position. And it seems they're going to commit out from Squeak Door.
Incendiary's on. Dav gets Petchin. Trades back to a 4 versus 4. All important. As Impulse lands a wall bang on Bloggis through the squeaky door. That might be the turn that ONYX need. Flash into the A site, indicating that's where they're going to go, but there's no one defending ramp, no one defending B, and that's where the T's are really going to go. Twist will try to get back towards Hell and try and defend against something, but it just kills pouring in for the T-side. Arrow with another. That lock works out so well for him. Double up, round done.
Yeah, this is over. No way that Twist can come back in. What a recovery again. This is 2 rounds in a row now in overtime that we've seen an opening man advantage go the way of ESUBA in a 5-on-3 and lose both of those rounds. That lurk play from Arrow was fantastic. The way that the shot came through from Impulse somehow with the AWP, they just start getting all the picks back.
Big pickup for ONYX. 17 to their name, again trying to bring it back against ESUBA and try to deny them their 2-0 series win. Oh, Impulse, what a shot. He must have heard a footstep or something there. 17 of 15 again. There's a start out for Luco, spraying through the squeaky door this time, catching Bondic, kicking things off. But last round it was traded and it was turned into a round for ONYX themselves.
It was traded late. It wasn't immediate. And for ESUBA, they've got to start knuckling down and converting these rounds with the early advantages being gained. Outside smokes coming through. Incendiary trying to slow the push down into that secret position. It's a fake outside by the T's.
M4 set ahead of the smoke, trying to push forward. AK Dimkey catches him, and there's no reason to do that, Savannah. 4-on-4, given up the man advantage. Luco's going to try to get it right back from his position. Might have been a gap in that smoke. I don't think so. Flashbang ahead of it. They're not going to check close vent, though. Dimkey's in trouble. Luco gets that first, and he's that second. He can't do it. His teammate at Bloggis can't do it either. Twist now, up from heaven. Molotov away. Smoke and flash at the ready. Bloggis going to try to put that piece of utility out. Engaged upon by Impulse. No kill found for the man. Twist is going to try to work out of heaven.
Twist really needs to be the impact man in this round, and there's just players everywhere. Bloggis does get one with the enemy. And turn it into a 1v1.
Arrow solo HP, but he's counter-flanked it. Bloggis has no idea. Deagle pulled out. The new blood, the new addition to the ONYX side. Turn away and taps him in the head. Gets it 3 in a row for 18-15 and map point for ONYX again.
What's so insane, Jay, is all 3 of those rounds came off the T side when both teams have been struggling on T side this entire map so far in the regulation. ESUBA, another round where they get a perfect start. What's going on with playing the numbers game there? They've got a 5v4 and Savannah just walks through the squeak door.
That's 3 in a row for ESUBA to get back now. This is going to be tough. So tough for them now. Start to wonder when they're going to start running out of gas here. When they're going to start playing through their entire strat book. Got to remember as well, ONYX have their CT side next up. That's where they did their best.
Yeah, this is pretty much already over. This is the death in overtime, is getting the 3-0.
Seen many a moment where 3-0s have brought back, but in this high-pressure environment, with the stakes being this high, is this going to be one of those moments? 15-18 again, map point for ONYX. They've done damage to ESUBA already. Blogus and Luco tagged by the blind sprays. Dav does not know he's done that just yet, but it will make the frags so much easier going forward.
Luco creating some space outside. Dav is actually reading the counter play that he's going to get wrapped in.
In a credit card, Molotov the way, information was given up, and Blogus will catch the kill. That's great positional advantage there, and playing around the player to force him into an unadvantageous position. Flashbang forward, Petchin will catch Arrow next up, and this is the ESUBA we wanted to see over on the CT side. A 5-on-3 now for the T half. Dimkey will tag up another player, Petchin on 8, and how much more can they get away with these positions here? How much more can they get away with these players staying alive at such low HP? Finally, Bond's gonna get fine. One trade, Impulse and Dimkey turn it around. Apparently not much longer is the answer to that. Dimkey with a double, Blogus with the AWP bow, and he will get caught by Bondic. 19-15 as ONYX will steal map 2 away, the pick of ESUBA. We're heading to a third.
Absolute utter embarrassment in OT there for ESUBA. 5-on-4 in the first round, 5-on-4 in the second round, 5-on-4 in the third round, 5-on-3 in the fourth round, and they don't win a single one. You've got to be converting your advantages.
And I think as well, they got away with Inferno, on Inferno with absolute murder.
Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't have gotten away as cleanly as that. Maybe they could have won the map at a close sort of affair. The fact that they were able to bottom nuke like this, like ONYX, they should have been fallen. They should have lost that one out in overtime because it felt like it was just destined there for the boys over from ESUBA. Like, what went wrong? Was it just recklessness?
Again, I think it just comes down to composure, pressure in the situations. I don't know how you have a man advantage in every round in overtime and not claim one at all. It felt as if ONYX maybe thrived in that sort of situation when pressure was really on, when players had to perform. There was a lot of mistakes coming through, a lot of way overly aggressive pushes. The info plays that just seemed to be, why is that happening? Like, questioning it.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this one, mate. Yeah. Now going into Mirage, we just throw this one completely overturned because now we don't even know what to expect. Like, we had this one wrapped up as a 2-0 just on the back of that Inferno result alone. Maybe we might have underestimated where ONYX would be in this particular context, but Mirage will be our third and final map to decide who is going to go further in this grudge match. We head towards a short break and come back with our third of the series. Don't go anywhere.
style? Is that your legs wrapped around me tight? Is that your smile? Is that your style? Is that your legs wrapped around me and I love you like no one ever loved anyone before. And I love you like no one ever loved anyone before. Is that your voice, so sweet of yours? Is that your hand I wanna hold so long? Is that your look? What's the hook? I can only say that this is so good. Is that your smile? Is that your style? Is that your legs wrapped around me tight? And I love you like no one ever loved anyone before. And I love you like no one ever loved anyone before. And I love you like no one ever loved anyone before. And I love you like no one ever loved anyone before. I know, yes I know.
The unique cultural heritage of the Visegrad Four and their 30-year collaboration enrich Europe. The past year and a half has produced unprecedented challenges, which we have faced by helping each other. Europe and the world are entering a new era, and the Visegrad countries are joining forces to shape the continent's future. Recharging Europe.
You are not my friends, you're my brothers, my friend.